It's time for the Beach Brothers Show. Beach Brothers, Virginia business and politics. Three brothers who live in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and we love Virginia business and politics. Conrad is our booking agent. If you'd like to appear on our show, contact Conrad. Jose Cruz is our business bully. If you'd like for your business to be featured on the show, contact Jose. I'm Seko Varner, your producer. Shouts to our sponsors, beginning with Tally and Twine. It's time for a high-quality watch from Tally and Twine. That's tallyandtwine.com. Thanks to Southern Volkswagen Greenbrier for all of the great sponsorship you've provided. If you're looking for a new car, you don't need to go far. Southern Volkswagen Greenbrier. Ladies, you want your brows to make people say, wow. So you need microblading from IamLitaWe.com. That's IamLitaWe.com. I'm Seko Varner, and I provide credit fixes, tax resolution, private money lending, and debt consolidation through Positive Vibes Financial. Contact me for your needs. And Conrad Chesviner is running for VB City Council. Good luck to Conrad. And now it's time to get beachy on the Beach Brothers Show. Wow. Time to get beachy, man. How are you feeling? I'm feeling rather beachy right now.
Very, very beachy and energized.
Beautiful, beautiful. So we have the good brother RK with us tonight, correct?
Yes, we do indeed.
All right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started, brother.
Well, thanks, Mr. Seko. Thank you very much. And welcome again, Beach Brother Show viewers. We're back from a great forum season where we covered Suffolk and Portsmouth and Virginia Beach candidates for mayor, council, and school board. I'm Conrad Chesviner, of course. I'm running for a Rose Hall seat on Virginia Beach City Council. Now, why is that? I want flood mitigation, better flood mitigation, and I want to personally lobby Richmond and D.C. to help fund that. I want a rapid bus transit system, and I'll work regionally and stately to achieve it. I want a better handle on development with focus on affordable housing and less on high-rise tourist-dependent attractions. As you may observe, I lack donations from property developers. I will not have a conflict of interest on these matters. In fact, I don't have PAC or special interest money at all. It's just me, folks. Just me and my issues like supporting fighting for social justice and policing reform. That's precisely why the VB Democratic Committee recommends me for you, the VB voter. Seko, Jose, and I keep it beachy at the Beach Brothers Show, blending politics and business in a manner we can all appreciate. Of course, as we touched on, tonight's guest knows both VB politics and VB business. He's Richard R.K. Kowalewitch. R.K. is a long-time Virginia Beach business owner and VB candidate. He owned a shop for 31 years. He's also in construction. And he's also very interested in the goings-on of Virginia Beach politics as he is a candidate for this year's mayor race. Mr. RK, thank you for coming on the Beach Brothers Show. Let's start with the why. What is it that tells you that you should be running?
Well, it's an obvious, to me, it's an obvious thing. The lack of leadership that we have in our city over the last 15 or 20 years is pretty scary. And you hit on it a little bit a second ago, stormwater. Well, I've been talking about stormwater mitigation for a long time, and
you have
money's being spent. I mean, 15 years I've been talking about this, and the lack of shortage of police officers, the lawlessness at the oceanfront, out of control debt, cozy relationships, a level playing field for everybody. These are things that are important to everybody, and I don't see any of that. How about transparency? Certain candidates run on transparency. I'm just so tired of it. How about open space? We have an open space program, but yet they want to develop every single inch everywhere. I mean, we have one piece of property left of the oceanfront, Rudy Loop. I've been talking about that for 15 years. So, I mean, here we are. Things are important to the citizens of Virginia Beach. But what seems to be more important to them, a lot of the council members appears to be, is their special interest groups. And COVID has been a proof of that. What they did in May was horrific. Approved $250,000 in additional, not $240 million in additional debt with nothing to do with COVID or stormwater. It's to do with their public-private partnerships. They don't even have a pro forma for that. But anyway, I'm here to hopefully answer some questions and, and talk about things I think are important to everybody and maybe get a different perspective. Conrad's been around, he's campaigned. Seko, you have, and I think together we can really make things better. The brothers, I like that, brothers.
Well,
Brothers
thinking
from another
about
mother.
thinking about your beach shop, your surf shop, you're definitely already a beach brother. I tell you, as I learned about Virginia Beach politics, your name kept coming up. I mean, it was RK this, RK that, RK was everywhere, and hey, you're an official beach brother. So I appreciate the fact that you would place your neck out on the line once again for the great city of Virginia Beach, man. Great city.
Yeah, it's all about the truth. And it's all about the truth. The truth will set you free. And that's what I try to do, is speak the truth.
Well, good. Well, before we delve headstrong into politics, the Beach Brothers, we love a good business story. We would like you to tell us about your history with the surf shop and construction. How did they all begin, and what challenges in Virginia Beach existed for your businesses?
Well, and still challenges, by the way. I started my surf shop in 1983. And, I was pretty green at that too. We actually started as a windsurfing shop for my cousin out of Germany. Well, my family had been in construction for decades, over 60 years now. I really didn't jump into that till later on in life. But the surf shop business for me was fun and exciting. It was part of being part of the beach scene. And, that was a fun job for me, and I think it's important. But construction, I'm always liked it. I like building things. I like designing things. So, that's important avenue for me right now. I like seeing things getting done. I like being able to see what's right or wrong, how to fix things. So being a fixer, can you only imagine some of the problems we have, how that might work out? I don't like people that continue just to talk and want to just to investigate or hire committees when we know we got problems. Look, we need to go aggressively after things and fix them. Just like I would do in construction, just like I do in my business when there are problems, I'm going to do the same thing as the mayor.
Okay, as the mayor. So what is the biggest issue impacting Virginia Beach? You just discussed that you want to make things, you want to fix things, you want to build things. What's the biggest issue impacting our beloved Virginia Beach?
Well, I think there's two, to be honest with you, Seko. One is the lack of police officers, which, since 2002, when I ran my first campaign, we were 50 police officers short. Today, we're 120 short, and actually, we're more like 200 or 300 short. And mind you, when I say 120 short or 50 short, these were funded positions. That money was in the budget. You have to ask yourself, in those 18 years, where's all that money gone? So that's an important issue. But let me tell you something. That's really, really important. And number two, stormwater. We're one storm away from disaster. One storm away. We'd have the money to fix this, but they don't want to spend it there. They'd rather put it in their pet projects. This is something that needs to be fixed immediately, not in 15 years. And I will aggressively go fix that because it needs to be done because of public safety. Both these things are public safety issues. There are multiples of issues out there that we'll talk about as the show goes on, but these two are critical and they can be dangerous.
True.
Public safety issues.
Yep.
Public safety.
Law and order.
I know that you. Okay. Yeah, you are the law and order candidate for now.
I am that.
All right. Bro Con.
Well, I'm going to bring up city development, your southern agriculture. The ARP was created in the 1990s to help keep land south of the Green Line safe from suburban and flashy development. And some years it has cost the city some $4 million in subsidy. Is the ARP good as it is, or should it be reformed?
Well, I agree with the reform part. I like the ARP, but I think it needs to be it needs an audit for one, and we need to reform it because I think there's some people that have been abusing it. It wasn't ever designed to be abused. It was designed to be helpful to maintain that southern borders, to keep it agricultural. And as you know, Conrad, that stormwater issues, we have two places the stormwater shed. It's to the southern border and then back to the north. And that's where we shed our water. Remember, the water doesn't perk real well there. It's a very low-lying area. So we need to protect that stuff. And I think there's a double-edged sword there, but it needs to be reformed. And I don't think it's a complicated process. We just need to go in there and make sure that people don't have conflicts of interest and make sure the money's being spent and appropriate like it should be.
I think Seko jumped off here a little bit. How about public transportation? If it is done right, it's great for the economics of a city. And you've been part of the efforts in the past to sort of stop light rail expanding into the city. So the Beach Brothers are curious. What would Mayor RK like to advocate for on public transit if light rail is a no-go?
So, I was with John Atkinson. We formed a team and put together a group of people. So there was a lot of people involved, but it was John Atkinson and I that actually got together and stopped the no light rail. But this is an interesting thing. We weren't opposed to light rail. We were just opposed to light rail from Virginia Beach. We didn't think hooking up to the worst light rail system in the country was smart for Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach is 497 square miles and Norfolk's 95 square miles. Their system already had been failing and not performing like it should. I just didn't see the economic windfall for us or what it would do for us. I think it would have put us in a very bad financial position. And I think my fiduciary responsibility would not have been met and won't be met. I do like the transit system, the little smaller buses. I think these are things that are important. I think, lighted covered areas for people to sit and wait in. I mean, over the years, as you guys probably know, our transit systems, our ridership's going down. So, I mean, we have to be more economical because we know most mass transit systems are losers. And so we have to be very careful on how we spend our money. Look, we've already taxed the citizens of Virginia Beach, and I think we need to start thinking about the citizens of Virginia Beach. And I think some of the other questions will be helpful so people understand what's going on.
Okay, speaking of citizens of Virginia Beach, we have a citizen of Virginia Beach who has a question. How would you have handled the 531 unlawful disturbance at the oceanfront specifically?
It's for me. Yeah. I mean, seriously, I've been talking about this since actually 1989, 90. This is what's got me involved in politics. I sat on the sidelines, not politically getting in the political race for about 10 years before I realized we needed to do something. Look, laws are for everybody. Laws need to be enforced for everybody. There should be no color in laws. They're for everybody. If there's lawlessness out there that are affecting our community, our businesses, our properties, it needs to be held. It should have been done swiftly. People who come here need to be told, you're not going to come here and ruin our city. You're not going to go and destroy our property and ruin our economic base, which is taxes. And that's how I would handle it. Now, obviously, we're a little short of police officers, and I believe our police department is incredibly great. But when you're shorthanded, you can only do certain things. We need to fully staff our police department. We need to fully compensate them. This is very important. These shortages of police officers need to have been met a long time ago, and the current mayor is weak on that. And I will be strong on that.
All right. Let's talk back there. Earlier this year, when Councilwoman Abbott proposed a referendum on our voting system, it offered to let the city vote on change from the at-large system we have to direct district voting. Council defeated it on a 6-5 vote. Of course, today, the city's voting system is also in federal court on this matter. We know you've been addressing this for years. Tell us what is wrong with the current system and what you would want the system to be.
Well, I think, I have been talking about for years. Thank you, Conrad. It's about 18 years, actually. One of the top issues I ran on. So there's the National League of Cities say there's 3 ways to vote. One is you have an at-large system, you have a district system or ward system, or you have a hybrid at-large system or district system. There's nothing where I think we're one of the only one, and maybe 2 cities in the whole country that have a hybrid system. It's just not constitutional. And I'll give you an example. Lewis Jones ran last time he ran in Bayside. He did not get elected by his district. His district didn't want him in there. How is that a representative form of government? And the Constitution guarantees us that. I believe it's unconstitutional. But what I am for, which is a little confusing to me, Bobby Dyer ran on the same issues 18 years ago as well, 16 years ago as well, about changing it. And all of a sudden now he thinks we need to study it. There's no more study that needs to be done. We need to put it on a referendum. We need to put it out there. Let the public decide which system they want. Let them decide which one of the 3 they want. And I'm good with that. But I don't want one that's not constitutional and that favors the good old boy network, because that's why it's there. Because the number one question is, Conrad, as you probably know, in Seko, as you run for council, people, I can't vote for you. I don't live in your district. Well, it's an at-large system. Everybody votes for everybody. But there's a lot of people that think you can. And it needs to be fixed. It hasn't been addressed at the city level. It's not posted on the website the way it should be, and it hasn't been addressed on the voter registrar's office as well. That's a little confusing to me because it seems like it should be explained to people what's going on. And if you look at it, if you look at a pure at-large system, think about this. If there were 5 seats available, like Chesapeake, and there were 20 people running, top 5 vote getters win. Think about who might have been elected already. You're looking at him. So you think about that. So they don't want that. They want to control every seat. They want to control the outcome. They want to control the narrative, and they want to influence wherever they can. And that's why I've run so many times. Good Old Boy Network needs to go. It is the problem in Virginia Beach. It should be about the people, not the few. And that's what's going on right now.
Okay.
And by the way, let me say something to you. Bobby Dyer voted against putting a referendum out. Politically, it made no sense because it doesn't affect him one way or another. If you're allowing the people to vote for the system they want, why wouldn't you, that have campaigned on it for 16 years, put it out there and let the public vote on it? That's just not right. I will work for the people, not special interest.
All right. Well, you brought up Mayor Dyer from, our beloved city of Virginia Beach. What makes you different from Dyer? What makes you different from Wagner? Why should, we choose you?
Well, first of all, Dyer is, in my opinion, and one of the questions I've asked, and I've known Bobby for a long time, and I think he's a wonderful guy, and I respect his service in the military as a Marine, but I can tell you straight up, I would not get in a foxhole with him because I don't trust him. His word has meant nothing to me. He hasn't followed through on things he should have followed through on: stormwater, light rail, level playing field, and things in the district voting system. These are all things that happen. COVID, just look at COVID, what he did in May. Approved $240 million in debt, but had nothing to do with COVID, had nothing to do with stormwater. I mean, this is just not right. That's the difference between Bobby and I. I'll work for the people. I will be in front of the scenario. I won't be behind it. I will lead from the front, not the rear. I will work for the citizens, not the special interests. Bobby's caught in a bad cycle. Once you drink the Kool-Aid, you drink the Kool-Aid. Now, let me just talk about Jody Wagner just a little bit. I didn't know Miss Wagner at all. I didn't even know her name. I mean, I didn't know nothing about her until after announcement date. My wife and I met with her. She's a lovely person. I asked her multiple of questions. I asked her 10 questions, and she couldn't answer any of them. She knows more about Richmond. She should be running for mayor of Richmond. And let me just say something else. Look where all the money's at. Here we go again. Different name, different face, same end result. Why all that money is being put out for a $30,000 a year job? You have to ask yourself that question. Are you all familiar with Act Blue? Act Blue is a funding mechanism for some of the most radical groups in this country. And that's just not, we don't need socialism here, I can tell you that. That's what separates us from the rest of the world. We never need to be socialism. It's never worked anywhere. Government never should be picking winners and losers. And I've been talking about this for a long time. And this is important that this ends. We're about the free enterprise system. We're about a level playing field for everybody. And that's what I'm all about. I don't see D's and R's. I see citizens.
Let's step back a bit to COVID. We touched on it briefly there. Its effect on our economy could be long-lasting, especially the city budgets. The Beach Brothers want to know what parts of the city budget would be prioritized with the leadership of RK as mayor.
Well, number one would be the police officers. They will not be ever defunded. They will be fully staffed and they will be fully compensated. That will never get touched. And the other part right now is because the dangerous part is stormwater. We need to aggressively go after and fix that. That needs to be done immediately. We cannot wait any longer because we're 12-inch storm away. A hurricane comes through and drops 12, 14 inches. We're in trouble. That's just not right. Their priorities have been misaligned. They need to get back in line to the people. That's usually important. Look, let me just say this. They're saying numbers from 20 to 30% off in our numbers. They knew that almost instantly. When you shut down a whole economy, it doesn't take rocket scientists to figure it out that the revenues are going to be affected. You shouldn't be doing anything out of the box right now. And every department should be submitting and get ready to submit a budget that's 5 to 15% less than they've done in the past. We should be cutting the fat. We should be doing things, and we shouldn't be doing anything that we don't need to do right now. It's all about needs, not wants. And that's where I think, again, their priority is wants. And they proved that again.
Well, this follow-up question it's very dear to me. It was addressed at the Tea Party Forum, but it's roughly 3 different subtopics, so work with me a bit on this. I don't run from it. It's very controversial for me, and I
Okay.
probably put my yes votes at the forum. I'd like to give you the opportunity to unpack your thoughts as the law and order candidate on 3 subjects: police and criminal justice reform, social movements like Black Lives Matter, and protests in general. How would you want to address all of them?
Well, police in general, let's talk about that. And you go into the BLM movement, I understand that. Let me tell you something. Police, first of all, police officers should never see color. Any officer that sees color should be fired immediately. We have some of the best training already in the country. I think you're all aware of that. And I think there always should be updates to whenever somebody's learning something, a better way to handle things, to be kinder to somebody. I get it. But police officers put themselves in harm's way every day for us to keep us safe. It's the backbone of a free society. We can never lose sight of that. People are not perfect. People are going to make mistakes. We should deal them on a one-on-one issue. You know, and I've talked about the Citizens Review Board panel. I'm all about fixing that and making that right. I've been in front of it before, and I'll tell you, there's some mistakes in there that need to be addressed and they need to be fixed, because that's a good avenue for transparency and for the public to have input and to see what's going on and how things are being handled. I believe in peaceful protests. I believe you should have a permit. I should believe you should follow the laws and the rules. Those are things that need to be happening. That's part of our constitutional rights. And anybody does it peacefully and should do it peacefully, but you shouldn't interrupt other people's lives. That's where I draw the line there. And I mean, you know, I've been in the middle of those couple of protests. I was down at Town Center, which was pretty nice when they shut off the roads. I watched it, but I've been at the oceanfront. I saw bad stuff. It was not good. For an hour and a half, I saw them torment police officers, good people. Our citizens saw that. Our tourists saw that. People were angry about it. That should have never happened. That they didn't have a permit. It shouldn't have been allowed to happen. Get your permit. Peaceful protest is one thing. You don't cuss at people and threaten people and say names of people you don't know. That's not human. That's not right. If you got an axe to grind with somebody, express it peacefully. Do it civilly. Don't go out there and do things that are going to hurt our city. We all should be protecting our city. It's our city. And one thing you guys said, I love it. I love this city. This is our city. It's our beach. We should protect it and cherish it and make it better. And that's why I've run for mayor, because I can believe I can do all that and do it in a hurry.
All right, quite comprehensive there. Speaking of the city has its own little debt issue, and it progressively rears its head from time to time. What are your thoughts on where it might have gone wrong in the past and what you would want to do in the future regarding city debt?
Well, I think the debt was a little shocking to me when I found out. I'll be honest with you, a couple of years ago when I found out about it, I was sort of embarrassed that I didn't know more about it. And I'm just shocked how the debt went from nothing 16 years ago. Follow me here, 16 years ago, hardly nothing. Actually, we're about $2.4 billion in debt for the people who don't know. 1.2 of that is from unfunded mandates for the pension fund. 16 years ago, that was 25 million to the good. Where's the money at? This is not good. To service our debt right now is $177 million a year just to service the debt. Let me put that in perspective. Tourism brings in about $80 million a year. It's about 3.4% of the budget. You understand what we're going here. We're going a little bit backwards here. And it's something I think that's important to be aware of as well. The high taxes that are going on. This is an issue that's got to be addressed. I mean, 4 years running, there's less people living here than the year before. Zillow says we're the #1 underwater mortgage city in the country. What's going on here? Population is declining, 20 years of no growth, tourism's done. They basically took the golden goose on Atlantic Avenue and shot it. I mean, and that's, how can you screw up something that's so good that we all love so much? But tourism is a big thing. It does help us, but it's a minimal amount of money on a big budget. And the debt, we have to get a hold of it. And we need to go back to what I said earlier. We need to go back to all the departments and start trimming the fat. and start taking care of that debt, because $177 million takes care of a lot of things I don't think we need to be spending. Cannot get involved in bad deals that are not producing to the general fund, but taking from the general fund. We need to stop that.
I have joined the Virginia Beach Democratic Committee, and that's something I'm proud of, as I found my views have shifted ever progressive. Now, Virginia Beach's local elections are known for a nonpartisan bend. What are your thoughts on local personship and that place in our local elections?
Well, it's near and dear to my heart. We're running in a nonpartisan race. What does that mean, everybody? That means that's what the law says. This is in local elections are nonpartisan. Well, who changed the rules? The rules haven't been changed. They're just not being enforced. It's not fair to people that run nonpartisan against the machine of a Democratic Party or the Republican Party. So we're doing things the right way, and we get penalized for doing it the right way. That needs to get addressed. It needs to be and I don't have a problem being partisan, but somebody let everybody know what it's going to be. At the 10th hour, when they've already got their players in place, they want to make a decision and make it partisan all of a sudden. That's just not right. And it needs to be fixed. And I will be working very hard once elected to fix that, along with term limits as well. We have 5 council members that have 120 years total. Are you kidding me? And wonder why things ain't changing? Different name, different face, same end result, same old thing keeps happening. Are you kidding me? Something needs to be changed here. They ain't working for the people. That's proof. It's like my opponent, Bobby. His voting record speaks for itself. Speaks for itself. He's like a bag in the wind. Wherever the wind's blowing, where he's at. I will be with the citizens. And that's exactly where I'm going to be. All citizens. No D's and R's anywhere.
Let's circle back to development, which can easily get a pretty bad rap. Public-private partnerships don't often help that reputation. And there's an ever expensive for development, even down at Rudy Loop. What would Mayor RK like to do toward public-private partnerships and Rudy and development in general?
It was 15 years ago, Conrad. And my friend Dawson is the one that took it out to another level when he put it on Facebook and got a lot of people following it. Surfing is a culture in Virginia Beach. There are a lot of people like living here because of surfing. And, being that the Rudy Loop is one of the only undeveloped pieces of property at the oceanfront, we already own it. It don't cost us anything to leave it alone. I think Rudy Loop should be always left alone. It should be left alone. If we want to put better bathrooms there, make it more functional, maybe a few more showers, the parking should be good. But that's a nice place for staging events as well. If you want to put a circus or a little event in the wintertime, put an ice skating ring, do things that were event oriented that you can bring those events into town. Well, that's a perfect place for it. Whenever the storms come, Conrad, you've probably been out there seeing it because you're at the oceanfront. You see the lines of traffic of people coming down the loop to see the waves and the surfers just riding around. That's so important to the citizens of Virginia Beach. Remember, the citizens of Virginia Beach pay 96.6% of the taxes. 29.2% of the real estate taxes is towards the budget. 29%, that's what we collect. The citizens should have a place, and it should always be left alone. Public-private partnerships, I'll never support a public-private partnership that competes with the private sector. I will never support a hotel going up to your boss's hotel funded by him and collect a tax by him. I don't think that's not American. That's socialism. It'll never happen. Now, I'm not saying every public-private partnership's bad. I can see this. We have a lot of land space down in Industrial Park. And with being manufacturers going to come back to this country, we have an opportunity here to bring things like pharmaceutical goods or manufacturing that we can incentivize people for high-paying jobs that get here, which we don't compete with existing businesses already. These are things that are really important for the citizens and things I will work on. As a matter of fact, Conrad, it's a great question. Because if I'm elected, the mayor is a part-time job, correct? So is council. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a full-time and a half job for the first 2 years. I'm going to aggressively go after things, going to meet with people, meet with Conrad if you're elected, and people like Seko and talk to them what needs to get done. But I have a good plan to fix some things already. I just don't say, hey, look, let's go study. I know Jody wants to study, Bobby does nothing, and RK wants to fix. That's the difference. And that's the truth. And that's what I've been talking about for a lot of years. and I think it's time. I think people are ready to have it fixed because I think people respect it and appreciate it. And we won't have as much conflicts as we do, and we'll have more transparency, and that's important right now. And my understanding is the morale is quite low in the city right now as far as workers in police and fire. That's my understanding. Now, and I've heard that from several officers and police officers and city workers. I want to fix that. I want to make that's important thing to do. And I think because they do a good service for us, I want to make sure they're happy when they go to work.
All right. Yeah, at the beach, you definitely don't want to have to worry. You want to be happy. That old Bobby McFerrin song. Don't worry, be happy.
Be happy.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's not that way at the beach because you've run several times because you're not happy about the beach politics.
Yes.
You've run several times. You're against corruption, buddy politics. But if we want everyone to be happy, there has to be something that's good. And I like the beach. I like living here in Virginia Beach. I've had a couple of issues here and there. I can talk about them, but now I want to talk about what's good. What are some good things about the beach?
You hit it on the head. It's the beach. It's the beach. People come here and live here for the beach. We are so blessed. In 497 square miles, we have great citizens here. We have great business people here. We have great employees here. We have great police officers. We have today in front of my house, fire department and rescue came by, and what a job they did to somebody. I mean, what we are so blessed. It's the people that make this place great. It's the businesses that make it great. But what's sabotaging it is the good old boy network. They're the cancer in the system. Until that cancer is cut out, there's going to be a problem. The rest of it's already here. We have all that we need. All we got to do, great schools. We have a great place to live. I mean, there's so much great here. And these are things that we're in place. And that's the frustration for a lot of citizens. They tell me all the time, Rick, we're so tired of it. We're so tired of our taxes going out so high. We got $100 a month water bills. I guarantee I probably can cut that 30, 40%. 30, 40%, I probably can cut that. And that's what's important. We need to make sure our citizens are taken care of. Because you think about this. If everybody's happy here, how many businesses want to come here? How many businesses don't want to come here because they don't want to feel unfair competition, level playing field? That's what's here. If you're not part of the good old boy network, cutting your deals from the inside, you got nothing. And that's the problem. And that's why I've run, because I think I can. Well, I don't think. I know I can fix it. How's that?
Okay. Paul Davis asks, RK asked Jody Wagner about the 264 original financial plan filed while she was Secretary of Finance with Tim Kaine. Any thoughts? We're taking viewer comments. I'm
not familiar with the 264 financial plan file, but if somebody would light me on it, I could respond to it. But that's again, I'm not. Some of these issues, they're not hard to figure out. It's just an hour or so figuring out what they are. But I'm not familiar with the 264 financial plan. If somebody wants to tell me what it is, I'll be glad to respond to it.
All right. Well, you can get in contact with Paul, and hopefully you can get that information. Sure. Hey, man, this has been a great episode of the Beach Brothers Show. We have 3 Beach Brothers. You own a business in the beach. Sure. I own businesses in the beach. What's one of your favorite businesses? Where do you spend some money in the beach?
As far as where I spend money, or what do I like to do in business?
Yeah. I mean, what restaurants or what locations? Just shout out some of your faves.
South Beach Grill, 501 Grill, the Boulevard Bistro. My favorite is Bella Italian Restaurant. I mean, Abbey Road is a fabulous place. I mean, my goodness. There are just some places, Wave Riding Vehicles, 17th Street Surf Shop, Coastal Edge. These are all great businesses out here, and everybody should frequent them. I mean, we are so blessed with such great businesses out here. We have such talent in our business community. So many smart developers and builders that don't get assistance. I mean, we have just a great place. I mean, 615 is an awesome place. Scotty Quicks. I mean, I can go on. And I mean, and all these places, I go to all these places, and I'm welcome there, and they're friendly, and they're owned by black, white, tan. I mean, and everybody doesn't look at that. They look at just how the business is run, and it's so cool when you go in there and everybody's getting along. And that's what Virginia Beach brings. That diversity that's really there is there. We just need to make it a little bit better. We want to make sure the bad apples don't want to come here no more. If you come here, respect us or don't come here. We'll show you the door, and we'll close it right behind you as well.
I want to invite you to check out Montego Caribbean. I love the food there. What is that? Cobalt. It's not Cobalt Grill. It is Cobalt Grill.
It is Cobalt Grill. It's an awesome place.
I like the food there. Yeah, good spot. Good spot.
I did miss another place I frequent a lot, by the way, and I hope she doesn't get mad at me. Mary's. I eat breakfast and lunch there all the time. She'll kill me. Allison will kill me if I didn't mention her because I eat there all the time. I mean, you know, when I go, we have a routine. We go to these places. We go there night, day, whenever we can. So we always support our local businesses here. And there's, I don't go there because I'm supporting them.
Right.
Because the food's good. Left side 160, right side 70. I ain't lacking a weight here. You know what I mean?
Also want to say We Care Cafe. We Care Cafe. They have 2 locations in Virginia Beach. Really great food, really great service. And there's another place I can't think of, right? But it's good to know that you spend a lot of time and you can, you know, off the top of your head, you can recognize some really great beach locations. So that says a lot about you.
I got one more for you too.
Okay.
Getting at Ice House Restaurant. Oh my gosh, the food is incredible there. I mean, they got the cold, not that I'd ever drink a beer, anybody, wink, wink, nod, nod, but the coldest beer in town, Ice House. And it's a great, cozy little atmosphere. And the food, the ribs there are to die for. Oh my gosh. I mean, I could, look, I'm hungry. I got to go. Bye.
And with that, we want to say goodbye to our good friend RK, man.
Thank you so much. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. You know what? This is a great interview. This was fun. This was fun. I mean, this is really good stuff, man. I'm impressed. You sold me. Where do I sign up?
All right. Hey, man. Don't worry. Be happy. Thank you, RK. Good seeing you, brother. Ooh, hey, man, that was another great show, Conrad, man. Another great show. Do you want to shout out our great sponsors? I'm going to take time and recognize some of our sponsors. But let's start with the sponsor that helped you get to work and helped you get back home today. Who is that sponsor?
That would be Southern Volkswagen in Chesapeake, Virginia, specifically 1248 South Military Highway. Got myself a car there that I was able to travel around and put up some banners the past couple of days. Banners like this. And I did it in a Jetta that I got at Southern Volkswagen in Chesapeake. Make sure you stop by, speak with Cynthia Rawlings, Charlie Roy, get yourself a nice car that when you decide to run for office one day, put up some banners, it'll be from a nice quality car like Southern Volkswagen.
Good stuff. Good.
The guide is really undergoing a transformation as we focus on social and digital media in addition to our print. But our mission has never changed. It is to be an authentic recorder of news, events, information, and issues as they relate to the Black community. Your subscription today ensures the stories will be told tomorrow.
And you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? We want to celebrate our other sponsor, Tally and Twine. tallyandtwine.com. Yes, that's tallyandtwine.com, where you can find beautiful watches for men and for women, made here in the United States, made here in the great state of Virginia, made in Portsmouth, Virginia. That's right, made in America, made in Virginia, and made in Portsmouth. tallyandtwine.com. Great watches for the men. Look at these beautiful watches. Aren't they nice, masculine, really attractive? And these sexy watches for our beautiful ladies. tallyandtwine.com. This is my favorite watch. This is the watch I personally own. tallyandtwine.com. Made in Virginia, made in America. It's time for you to get a high quality watch from Tally and Twine. All right, it's time for us to kind of wrap up. Hey, Conrad, good to see you again. We've had a lot of great forums with the Hampton Roads Black Caucus, with the Virginia Beach AA Pack, with New Journaling Guide, with the Virginia Beach NAACP. You know, we were in Virginia Beach. We were in P-Town. Salute to Portsmouth. We love you. We were in Suffolk. Salute to Suffolk. We love you. And back home in our beloved Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach, we love you. All right. So any last words before we leave?
It's great to be back focusing on VB because we know we keep it VB1 over here. We keep it B.
That's right. That's right. VB1 and B1. You guys take care. Good night. This show was brought to you by Positive Vibes Incorporated, our consulting services. We do credit fixes. We do tax resolution. We lend private money and debt consolidation. So if you need some of these services, we're waiting here for you. Credit fixes, tax resolutions, private money, and debt consolidation. Make sure you call Positive Vibes Incorporated.